Hello, hi, good day. My name is Wabo Makaga and a warm welcome to Funzo Ndi Ifa. Today we have a prestigious guest who is going to be helping us learn so much. Please clap your digital hands and help me welcome him to the floor. Mr. Rudzani Mamphweli. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Wabo, for a wonderful introduction. I like it when you say prestigious. It's a big word.
I'm trying to make it sound fancy.
Trying to make it sound like you've got a special guest.
You are very special.
I guess I'm special.
You're very special.
And thank you so much for welcoming you to your platform. Funzo Ndi Ifa, it's really good, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you, and big up to what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
University of Venda. I saw Univent podcast episode 1 sitting at 400 views, and
We're
episode
pushing.
2 is sitting at 1,100 views.
Yo, you're checking us,
less than 18. It's something that we need to celebrate. So
Yes.
I'm really grateful to be here, and thank you for the invite. Looking forward to the conversation.
I'm also looking forward to the conversation. But then before we go any further, I'd like the audience at home too, and myself as well. We'd love to know more about you. Let's talk about Rudzani Mamphweli, the individual. Who is Rudzani Mamphweli?
Very interesting question. The individual.
Yes.
So Rudzani Mamphweli is simple gentleman. I know, right? People say I'm elegant, of course. I love things. I'm a lover of things, lover of life, and great personality, I guess.
Indeed.
Always laughing, love engaging with people. But just to tell you my background in terms of where I come from as a person, I come from Njerere, in a village called Chitabograudzi, and that is where I was born and bred. Started my primary school then at a junior primary school called Liwani, and then moved to a senior primary school called Chirubadi, and then proceeded to Umberani Secondary Schools. That's where I matriculated in 2009. So that is where I come from in terms of my formation years.
That's very beautiful. You mentioned that you're from Jerere.
Yes. Yeah, it's a country. guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
London.
it's
Yeah,
in
that's what they
London.
say.
It's a country. Ali Bikimbo telling you. I was at Patrick Ramano yesterday for some metric motivation. The kids there are amazing.
No, that's
Confident.
beautiful.
So Jerere got talent, I'm telling
Oh,
you.
Jerere's got talent. I
Now
like
we'll
that.
talk about Jerere some other time.
Let's now
Yes.
continue. I would like us to look into your family background. Let's talk about you. Your upbringing as a child. How was that? Are you an only child? Let's look into that.
Yes, I'm the only child to my mother. No, she raised me well. She inspired me so much. But of course, because I come from extended family, I've got siblings. I call them siblings. So white people call them cousins. No, Manabamane, Raruarote in the same household. So I mean, my upbringing was I come from humble beginning, and then I want to say that it was tough, but it was good.
Yeah.
No,
You're here today, yeah.
I'm where I am today because my great grandmother played a bigger role in raising me, in motivating me, and then I listened to them. So I would say that the background was good. I don't want to talk about the bad side of it,
Yes.
the struggles and everything, but I think we can touch that as we go along with
Absolutely.
our interview.
Yes. So the name of our of the platform is
Sure.
Funzo Ndi Ifa. So I'd like us to start, diverting into the educational side of things. Let's talk about that. You mentioned that you're from Jerere and also the high school. Let's talk about when you started to, come into university. Let's firstly start with the transition, from high school, to university. How was that for you?
The transition was, it was a bit of a shock, coming to the university as first generation, I want to say graduate, yes, because I'm the first one in my family to get a degree. So the the idea of getting accepted to the university, when I got that acceptance letter, that first proof of registrations, it was sort of a shock. Is this really me? Am I
Yeah, is it really
breaking
happening?
the circle? You know, because I'm the first one, and because you're the first one to do it, it's kind of, you know,
The emotions
overwhelming.
yes.
Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. We are here today, 3 degrees later, chasing for the fourth one. But and this is where it started.
The
I
University of
wanted to say it
Venda.
started in this platform, but it started at the University of Venda,
Yes.
where this platform that we are in now was born. So started in 2010, registered the degree of social work, and then graduated in 2014, but completed in 2013, and then proceeded in 2015 with a Bachelor's of Arts honors in sociology, and then I worked for the Department of Social Development for a year. Then in 2016, I I got a scholarship to go study in the Czech Republic in Central Europe
Oh,
for a period.
interesting.
Yes, for a period of 2 years, and then that was made possible through the prestigious scholarship of the European Union through Erasmus Mundus framework. And then, yeah, I was in the Czech Republic, Palaki University, for 2 years, and that also granted me the opportunity to explore the world.
Yeah, I like that. But then I'd like us to move a little bit back, with
It's a back and forth kind of conversation.
Yes,
You're
you
triggered.
actually, I'm triggered. I'd love to learn more.
Sure.
You said Bachelor of Social Work.
Sure.
Most of the time when we come into university, you have a few options and you're
Sure.
like, if I don't get into here, maybe I'll, settle here. Was it actually your first choice to say, I want to study social work?
That was it was my first choice. I initially, I wanted to study. I applied at different institutions to study different programs. And again, because of material conditions, sometimes we find ourselves with looking at the best alternative. You can't go to Rhodes University to study if you are a single, unemployed mother, is faced with financial constraints, and you don't have a stronger support system externally that can pull together resources to actually support you to do what you want to do. So I applied for a social work bursary scholarship, and then initially I didn't get the bursary. Initially, in January of that year, 2010, but I registered through the means of a social work letter to study social work. So a social worker visited my house to do the assessment to assess my material conditions and granted me that letter. Then that is when University of Venda was still accepting the letter from social work. This university is inclusive, guys.
Yeah, it's
inclusive.
Yeah,
yes.
it shows,
But later in March, the Department of Social Development came to us and said that we still have funds. Then we were granted promissory letters to study this degree for 4 years.
Yeah, that's very beautiful.
It was free, so grateful for the government of South Africa.
Yes, indeed. But then you did mention the fact that I think the pronunciation is going to hit me there.
Sure.
But then you mentioned that you went abroad because of or due to you applied for a scholarship and so
Yes.
forth.
Yes.
But then we talked about the transition of moving from high school to university. But then I think it's a different type of transition when now you're going overseas, abroad. Let's talk about the culture shock. Let's talk about the food as well, and also the language. How did you maneuver that situation?
So personally, I didn't have a culture shock, but of course the change is yes, because I think I'm someone who is adaptive. I'm agile. I can adapt in difficult situations. So think I was ready for the challenge. Because I remember my mother asking me in April, is it March, April 2016, she asked me, because I was not employed at the time. I was back to school studying for honors. And then she asked me, what will happen if you get a job? Will you continue with your studies abroad, or to go and pursue your studies abroad? I said yes.
I'm going to do
yeah,
it.
because I already got a scholarship offer signed, sealed, and delivered in my email. So
I'm gonna
I
grab
was
this with
ready
both hands.
to for the challenge, and then because I got the scholarship offer and the university acceptance offer earlier, that sort of prepared me mentally to start researching about where I'm going, and then how is the culture, what are the people, the language, and etc. etc. And just to tell you the interesting story. Initially, I wanted to study at a university in Germany, but because the consortium of Erasmus Mundus, they have the final decision. They give you options to choose 3 universities, and then I wanted to go to Germany. Dresden University in Germany was my first choice, and then there was a university in Finland. I don't want to butcher
The
the
pronunciation.
pronunciation, but yeah, because of the Finnish education, the story we hear about the Finnish education and their models and stuff, I wanted to go there, but under that program, the scholarship program, the university in Finland was only offering an exchange program of 10 months, but I wanted to go abroad on a full degree of 2 years. So I ended up um, landing at Palak University, an opportunity of a lifetime that I don't regret.
That's absolutely beautiful. I can, just imagine how, it could have been, the experience. But then you did mention that you were mentally prepared. But challenges are always there, in
Sure.
different situations and so
Yes.
forth. Let's look into that. Challenges that you experienced maybe when you were there?
I would like to talk about challenges that I experienced before going there.
Oh, okay.
So I got a scholarship March, right? April, right?
Yes.
In my mind, I'm thinking everything is sorted, right? I already had a flight ticket in April, but I didn't have a visa.
Ooh,
Yeah, because you need a visa
you
to
applied.
to apply, and applying a visa is a process. You need to go to Pretoria, back and forth, go to police for police clearance certificate, some of the requirements when you apply for visa. So I was applying for a Schengen visa, and then one of the requirements from the Czech Republic universities, the system was that I needed to translate my academic transcript from University of Venda into Czech language. So there was a translator of Czech language in between Rodiport and Fourways. So I had to travel to Rodiport, travel to Victoria, back and forth, getting my stuff translated. I remember the translation fee for a Univen academic record, 2 page, to Czech language was like 2.5. And then I didn't have that money. And
It sounds
then,
like a lot of money.
yeah, it was a lot of money. Yeah, it was a lot of money then. And I told you about my upbringing, the fact that my mother was struggling
A
financially.
challenge indeed, yeah.
So, and I did money for visa to apply back and forth again. I think I needed something like 2.5 for visa. So the money that I needed in August 2016 was like 5,000. I didn't have that money. I remember sitting with my mother, telling her that I've got acceptance offer from the university. I've got the scholarship offer and I need money. And then what are we going to do? She asked me, and I said, I'm going to make a plan. Then
You made a plan.
yeah, I made a plan. I asked few friends for donations, and I'm grateful for those people who helped. So yeah, those were the challenges prior going to Czech Republic. And then of course, when I landed in Czech, challenge was the language, right? And then I think when you go to a different country,
Yes.
you are not the only one experiencing a culture shock.
Shock. Absolutely, yeah.
The people that you're going to, imagine you're going to Olomouc. In other parts of Olomouc, they hardly see black people. And then to other people, they're shocked, right?
Yeah, the residents, they're like,
they will-
who's this guy?
Yeah, so I remember when I was in China last year, young kids were like looking at me. They wanted to take pictures with me, right? I remember a lady when we were climbing the Great Wall of China, she was like, a photo. You see? so it's culture shock. She wanted to show people that she met a black person. So even in Czech Republic, I could see that they're shocked because as a culture, as a society of Czechs, they are homogeneous. They are close connected to each other,
yeah.
not really open to other people. But again, because of learning and also globalization, countries are becoming integrated. So they try to integrate because they are also they were at the time they were internationalizing the program of the one that I was studying of international development studies. So it was important for them to be open and welcoming. So yeah, those were a few challenges, language here and there. And I remember the first time I landed, I met a guy from Cameroon. His name is Ivan. He's the one who was helping me when I go to buy grocery because in some store there in Olomouc, they don't speak English, unlike in Prague, the capital. But Ivan was very helpful. But the first word that I asked him when I landed in Czech, was like, when I first met him, how do you say monkey in Czech?
Why monkey?
Yeah, right? Obvious reasons. People have been called monkey in Britain.
So you wanted to be sure, you wanted to be
and
safe.
that word was opiti. Opiti means monkey in Czech, yes. So I didn't want people to go around calling me opiti, and then I'll be laughing to them saying that, hello.
Thinking that these people are happy to see me.
Yes, yeah. So those are the few challenges.
That's very beautiful.
Yes.
I like how you also mentioned the fact that, the culture is different. I'm sure the food...
Culture is dynamic.
I have a question that I'd like to ask you. As someone who grew up at Njerere, and you moved into...
Njerere is big.
Yeah, Njerere is big.
Let's emphasize my village. As someone who grew up at
Chitava village, yes. So now you're overseas.
Sure.
Black people, or rather, let's say that in South Africa, we love pap.
Sure.
You're moving overseas. Is there maize meal there? Was there maize meal? Did you survive as a Venda man?
I survived. Yes.
You did?
Yes.
And there was no pap?
There was no pap. There was no maize meal. I survived.
You survived?
As a Venda man in the Czech Republic.
That's very beautiful.
But again, the food, they have rice, Yeah, you survive by rice, some bread. Yeah.
There are a group of people, Venda and also Pedi people that say, I can't survive without pap. So
They can, I'm telling you.
and others beg to differ. But then I love how you also mentioned the fact that you visited China. When I was prepping for my intro, I had it in my head. I was like, I'm going to tell people how well traveled you are, and it's very beautiful. But now I'd like to, let's move now into the professional side of things.
Sure.
You mentioned that your first job, I think it was somewhere in the department of, you mentioned. So I'd like us to your first job and also the transition from, you're a student, you're learning, the theories and, the ways of doing things.
Sure.
And now you're coming to the workspace. How is that for you?
No, my first job was social work intern in 2014, 2015, the period, because I started in June 2014 to June 2015 when the contract for the intern ended. But they were called social work intern then, but you're actually a social worker, a qualified one, because once you graduate as a social worker, you get a certificate of saying that you are registered as a social worker. So that was my first job. No. I think I need to...
Take it back a little. Please.
Story of my life, right?
They're here for you.
My very first job was a grant admin intern at SASA in Mudimule.
A grant admin
Yeah,
intern. It's
intern,
my
yeah.
first time hearing
Yeah,
that
grant
title.
admin, application for grants. Mundende, SASA.
So there's a person that actually is assigned.
assist, with applications, admin job. So that was my first job. And that is the job that saved my graduation. Because I didn't have money for suit, for getting
Yeah,
a
it's
suit.
an event.
It's an event,
Yes.
you know, right? Getting a suit for my first graduation, I didn't know where I was going to get money for that in April.
Uh-huh.
And then because I think I started in April. End of April, I got my first stipend. That was 5,000 from Mudimule there. I bought a suit at Mudimo, blue from Macap, nice one.
For 5,000, I'm sure you
No,
can.
I didn't get it for 5,000. But the 5,000 was the stipend from SAS. And then I went in that intern. That was a year intern. I worked for 2 months. So that was like an intern for graduation. I call it intern for graduation. And I'm grateful for people.
Yeah, you're saving grace.
Yeah, who assisted me with that job. So, and then moving to, then I went to Musina, social work intern 1 year. Then that is when after it ended, I was back to school studying for honors, and then got a scholarship to go abroad 2016. 2018, I'm back unemployed with international degree. From Palaki University.
I'm sure everyone wanted you.
Prestigious scholarship. And then 6 months, I came back in August 2018. Then, you are new, trying to adjust. People think that because you studied international, you're going to get job easily. Company will be fighting for you.
Yeah, you still
Guys,
want cakes. Everybody wants you.
company don't fight for people anymore. So, and then, January 2019, back on campus, register for PhD in social science, do register, and then June 2019, I got an intern with a German company called German Development Corporation. And my experience of living and studying abroad really helped me to get into the German Development Corporation. I remember in the interview, the person was going to be my manager during the interview. She pointed out that, you see, you have assisted students at Palaki University. She was coming from Guatemala, but lived in Germany for some time, and then she was deployed to South Africa to work for the GIZ. And then she did mention that she asked me about my experience abroad of traveling to do intern in development cooperation in Bosnia and visiting all the international development institutions. So that really helped me to get an intern at GIZ. Then I worked for GIZ for 6 months. They only give people intern for 6 months. And then, so intern is not supposed to be 2 years. In 6 months, you have got experience.
You're supposed to be done,
the manager. People must not lie to us, say that they want 5 years experience. That is
6 months is enough.
I mean, to be a manager, you
To
are
be a
manager. Managers are admin people.
So 6 months is enough.
Yes, if you are dedicated, yes. But again, because of systems, right? Systems are different. The Germans believe that you can move from being an intern in 6 months to being a junior technical advisor, and then 2 years down the line, you are a technical advisor or senior tech advisor in 4 years to come. So, very good place to learn professionally. I learned so much from GIZ. And then from GIZ intern to another intern. And
This is after 6 months.
Yeah, then I got an intern here back at University of Venda. They say, no matter where you go, remember the road
that will lead you home.
Yeah, so I feel like in my short journey of professional experience, the road always lead me home. And then from NRF intern, I worked in a project called Innovation for Local Economic Development. I was an innovation champion under the Institute for Rural Development for 4 months.
Let's talk about that. You said you were an international development champion,
Innovation.
innovation
Yeah,
development
the
champion.
first pilot for infusing the elements of innovation into the local economic development in the Venda district. So we are the first cohort of that project, and also grateful. Within the project, we learned a lot. It gave us experience. I think I was able to land my next gig after that project, because during the interview of the next gig after the project, they were just like asking about the experience. So I was able to relate what I did in the project to what
Yes.
they were looking for. And then from Innovation Champion under the Institute for Rural Development, got a job in Cape Town 2021 December. Imagine starting a job in December. So I joined the International Organization for Migration. It's like a dream job, right? Studied international development studies at Palak University Masters, and then now you're landing a job. United Nations, right? I remember during class at Palak University, we will talk about our dreams of working for these multilateral institutions, because we learned about them in the class of development assistance. So everyone want to go to IMF. Yeah, so that was a dream job, and I was in Cape Town, senior project assistant, head of sub office. I was alone in Cape Town in the office of International Organization for Migrations, IOM, the Agency of United Nations.
It sounds like that was a bit long. Eh? It's like you have luck with these things. Tell us, give us tips. How do you?
Opportunity meets preparation. So resilience. So with me, it's a combination of experience, applied work, right? Practical experience and education.
Yes.
I went as a social work because I studied social work.
Yes.
And then I went to study international development. Now IOM, as an international organization, they're looking for someone who studied international development, someone who is multicultural, someone who has got multicultural competences, will be an attractive candidate to them. And again, you need to demonstrate that in the interview, the confidence and everything. Yes.
Yeah, the confidence, I can attest to that. But then most of the time when, we're talking about jobs, especially in South Africa,
Yes.
it's, different dynamics, different organizations as well.
Sure.
People usually, emphasize the point of, knowing the right people. You need to know someone who knows someone that knows someone.
Yes.
Let's talk about, the beauty of building relationships, in between organizations. Let's talk about that.
Of course, you don't have to burn bridges. You work for this one organization,
Yes.
and then you live harmoniously, and then they accept that you need to grow as a person, and you need to go and contribute elsewhere. Pivot, right? So, yeah, I don't want to rule the fact that you need to build connections.
Yes.
But that's not something that we need to condone as human beings. People must get jobs because they deserving, right? And because they are competent in those roles, not because they are connected. But you need to build networks. Networking is important. Connect with people at different levels, professionally, socially. These are the words of advice we get from my current manager, director of the community engagement, entrepreneurship, inclusive innovation and commercialization directorate of the University of Venda. So she always say, because we need partners to drive our initiatives, we need partners to implement some of our strategies. So so it's important to network, but not for the wrong reasons. I won't say because I know Wawo, now that Wawo is a manager for an entity, now she must give me that job. No, you must work. You must work to a point where people will not ignore you, based on whether they think that you're not connected to them or not. So it's all about resilience, putting in the work. Hard work always pays.
You're currently our community engagement officer at the University of Venda. And I must say, you're doing a great job. We see you, event after event, you're attending. Even today, I saw you were really hard and busy at work. Let's talk about your role as the community engagement officer at the University of Venda. What does that mean? How did you get here? How did you land this gig?
Connection.
Yeah, get a connection or connect.
No. I said, no matter where you go, right? I was in Cape Town.
Yes.
2022, working for IOM, right? It didn't make sense to some of my peers leaving IOM to come back to university.
Yes.
Why leaving IOM? It's great potential for growth, right? But I was interviewed for a junior lecture position under the Department of Arts and Social Science. I came back as a junior lecturer at the University of Venda in 2022 September. The job I did for 18 months, plus or minus 18 months then. I applied for a role of community engagement. There was a vacancy under the directorate, and then went for interviews, and then I was appointed. Yeah, so this is an interesting role because I love it so much, right? Community engagement, what does it mean? You need to contextualize this. It's a lifestyle, right? We are engaging here. We are a community of Univent podcast. We are a community of the University of Venda. So that's what my job is to connect the university with the community, community engagement officer. You are the bridge between the university and the community.
Yes.
A local and international community to some extent, right?
Yes.
Local be it South Africa, local be it a village. That is why you will see me in a village. So when people said that, are you living IOM for real? Are you living your office with a view of waterfront in Cape Town? To go to work in the village at the Tambo University, I said yes.
Well, it's always very hot.
Yeah, because I was looking at the bigger picture. I can still go abroad. I went to China last year from here at the University of Venda. So I was in Bulawayo in July in Zimbabwe this year. I was in Lesotho in August. So also it provided me with the opportunity to travel, and then you connect, you build partnerships, and then I'm happy that some of the colleagues that I met, the network that you're talking about, that we were working together in some projects from their organizations. We recently signed an MOU with a Center for Emerging Research Studies based in Joburg as a Directorate of Community Engagement,
Beautiful.
Entrepreneurship and Inclusive Innovation and Community. So I met Mary Mdangwa, who is the Executive Director for CER when he was a National Technical Specialist for Right to Care. When I was working for IOM, he was working for the Right to Care as a National Technical Specialist. We connected, right? And when I came back to Univen, we connected again. And then now we are working together, and there are amazing projects that are coming to benefit Univen students through our directorate, to benefit staff members, young academics through our directorate. So it's an exciting opportunity. It's a lifestyle to me,
I can see. We've
someone
noticed.
Can call me that let's meet at a restaurant and talk about what to do and connect and network. And let's see how we can connect. Let's see how you can assist community. And then talk about our directorate. It's one. I think my directorate, the Directorate of Community Engagement, Entrepreneurship, Inclusive Innovation and Commercialization. It's long, but I need to say it in full.
Emphasis, yes.
So that people understand. I think it's central at the motto of the University of creating future leaders. The only way Univen is going to create future leaders is when students are engaged.
That's true.
Our mission is to produce graduates that are locally relevant. How are students going to be locally relevant when they are not engaged? You need an SRC president who is engaged, who is leading community projects and or entrepreneurship projects. Today, students are gathered were gathered at the Premier Hotel from yesterday and today. They were learning about digital entrepreneurship. So that was made possible through the directorate, through our Office of Economic Activation led by Dr. Anyway Mikion. So he invited a guest from TUT to come and teach students about digital entrepreneurship. And I'm happy that you guys are doing it practically. We've got a podcast now.
Yes.
We are going digital, and then we are growing. We are going to grow, and we are going to monetize this. So you guys are part of us, and you are embracing what we intend to do for the whole university.
Yes.
So we are central, and then there are amazing projects in the directorate, and then we invite students to come and partake in these opportunities that are available for them.
Yes, that's really true. You keep making emphasis on the fact that no matter where you are, the road always leads you. Mutongari, Univen keeps calling you wherever you are. Let's talk about your relationship with the University of Venda. How would you say the University of Venda has helped you grow, or rather impacted your career and also your life as an individual?
That's an interesting question. University of Venda has helped many people, not only me. But the fact that University of Venda it's rural based, the fact that majority of us couldn't afford to go to Joburg, that means that the university has played a big role into our lives. And again, University of Venda, it's well positioned, right? Rural based, Limpopo, Venda Biosphere Reserve, a lot of biodiversity. There are amazing things that we are doing as the university, and I'm happy that now we are number 14. And I'm happy and concerned that people are not making noise about it. You get one statement that's saying that Univen moved from to number 14.
Yeah,
Then
from 15 to 14, yeah.
From 15 to 14.
It's
What's next?
Yes.
Because there's a possibility of us going from 14 to 17, right? So we must sit, have a dialogue, invite people.
Yes.
This is the platform. They must come to this platform.
Yes.
The VC must come here. The university management, they must come here to this platform. Talk to the community about what's next. We are number 14. What is it that we are doing better? For example, in our directorate, we now talking about societal impact. We have got projects that are evaluated for societal impact. What is it that we are doing? What impact are we doing in the community? For example, we have got a project called Skills for the Future program, right? Funded by Banksita. That project is led by young graduates from the University of Venda. Some of the project leaders are still students. So that's how we are demonstrating. Those are the real leaders that you see. And then we love to also assist those leaders that we have elected in SRC.
Yes.
Because most of them, they relax, right? You become a minister of a portfolio that you don't understand. And then 10 months down the line, you have nothing to show for it, but what you have done in terms of impact in the community, the initiatives that you have driven when you were in office. So there are a lot of things that you are driving for impact, societal impact. Then we need what project must be evaluated. So those are some of the things that, and then you asked about the role of the university. It presented me with an opportunity to work, of course, and also to be relevant, right? To be impactful to society.
Yes.
When people hear about the work we do as a directorate, the work we do as a university, then it's rewarding personally. And of course, you get paid as an employee.
Yes.
Yes.
So I love how you are, making emphasis on the fact that the university as a whole is a community. And I like the fact that you pointed on the Student Representative Council as a whole, right? I want to look into your role that you have right now as the Community Engagement Officer of the University of Venda, and also, your relationship with the SRC as a whole, for the students as well, for the management side of things. What is the plan, for, or rather between the SRC and also the community engagement side? Do you see maybe projects? Do we see projects coming up to help, strengthen the body and also the relationship between the body, the management, and the students?
Yes, I mean, there's an opportunity there's a point of convergence between us and SRC, I mean, I'm happy that the head of student governance is a young, vibrant leaders that we all look up to. Shabi Matele Musa
Yes.
is the head. So we talk from time to time when there are projects. Then I talk to him, then invite each other to programs. So yeah, we really need to capacitate the body of the student, because the level of debate it's not impressing, right? We want those guys to be part of all these students-led projects. Under our directorate, we have got entrepreneurship student ambassador program, right? Remember, we are living in a digital world, for example.
Absolutely.
Digital innovation, digital entrepreneurship. Today, they were learning about digital entrepreneurship. So, entrepreneurial mindset, that's what we are trying to drive as a directorate. And that is many universities are trying to do. UJ now, they're talking about societal impact in their new strategy, right? University of Venda now, they recently approved the Univen biodiversity integrated innovation biodiversity plan. The plan that it's a 15-year plan for the university, right? There's elements of entrepreneurship. They're talking about the niche area where the university want to see itself in the next 15 years or so. And then I think that when SRC student representative come together with leaders of other societies that are driving impactful work within the community, when they come together, when they pull resources together, we are going to achieve a lot as a university. And also, I think understanding of the strategy of the university, where the university is going, I think it must be everybody's business. There are people who are sitting and they only focus on what they do, right? So I feel like now we move to 14, right? Whose responsibility it is to move Univen from 14 to 10? You get it? So if we all feel like it's our responsibility, then we are going to see the results at the end. So Univen recently turned 40 years. We must be dreaming about Univen at 50. Right?
That's true.
We must be building internal capacity, our own team of leaders. The next executive dean directors, they must come from people who are here internally. And then we can only do that when we really intentionally involve everyone in the strategic vision of the university.
That is really true. But then I like the point that, you're saying that possibilities are there, that, the student leaders also engage with the community engagement, office to learn more as to how they can, help elevate the university as a whole into, a better community.
Just to sort, for example, you don't want an SRC president who will only focusing on room issues.
Yes.
You get it?
Absolutely.
People are obsessed with the problems that these small problems, these are administrative issues, internet, right? We want SRC leaders to drive projects that will help the community. We want them to go out there to demonstrate relevance. We are creating future leaders, not future leaders of 10 months, not future leaders who are there at the student parliament, at the student affairs, in their offices.
Yes.
We want them to go out to demonstrate relevance. That is a way to go. And then we must, of course, talk about this issue. When there are opportunities, we share, we come together, and we work.
No, it's very beautiful. But then I'd like us now to move our conversation to you as an individual and also our geographical location as well.
Sure.
We're situated in what can be considered the rural areas, the bonus as some would like to call it. And many of us at the University of Venda are coming from disadvantaged backgrounds. Let's talk about that and also the importance of education. And as we, equate it to a disadvantaged background, people say that they go around and talk about the fact that no, it looks like education is not the only key to success anymore. Let's talk about that narrative.
Yeah,
What's your thought? What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting. No, no, I understand the frustration that young people are facing. I understand the challenges of the blight, unemployment, etc., etc., and the fact that the government cannot create jobs. You know, very serious. And I saw the bunch of the ANC Youth League, recently.
Yes.
So, but like I said, mindset. We need to develop. We need to deal with the mind, right?
Very important.
They need to be a mindset shift amongst our students, right? The way they see the world. You get it? Because we are saying that we don't want students who will come here for a degree. You cannot only be here for going to classroom, to your room, to
Yes.
classroom. You create opportunity for yourself. Every year we produce plus or minus 2,500 graduates.
Yes.
As a university, we celebrate, right? That event is beautiful of graduation, 2 days, 3 days, right? Then after 3 days, we need to honestly reflect, right? We must reflect on the quality of our products as a university, the
Yes.
quality of what you're producing.
Yes.
Is it marketable? Is it market ready? And then what do you do for the students to be market ready? Again, we are preaching. I think that these are the opportunities. Come to us, let's talk, right? And let us be honest. Let's reflect honestly. They get it.
I do, absolutely.
Someone was asking me, my network, he asked me how many students or graduates from Univen get jobs first 2 months after graduating. 6 months after graduating. You get it? Be it internship, right? Be it permanent jobs, right? But we're producing 2.5, right? And then now we're talking about unemployment now.
Yes.
How many are unemployed after graduation? Every year, this conversation within the community, within our community. We need to start talking about this. We need to talk about employability of our graduates. Other universities, they are concerned about this issue.
Yes.
Rhodes University, they're checking where are our graduates going. So who must lead this initiative? It's you guys.
Yes.
So on this platform. So opportunities are there for students to learn by doing, and then we are capacitating them to have something that will set them apart from the rest.
It's very important that we talk about this conversations of the readiness of our graduates to go into the workspace as a whole. But then you touched the issue of mindset. Let's look into South Africa as a whole. The fact that colonialism, apartheid, and things like that, and that some people still argue that for a black person, for example, we are still colonized. The mind is still colonized. And if you're to listen to the conversations that students have among themselves, it's like, you just immediate degree, it's just a degree. They're not jobs. You're just studying for the sake of. It's that thing you mentioned that people are just they're graduating and it's just a certificate to them. What's your view on mindset and also the value and the importance rather of changing the mindset of the black child to believe that indeed you can make it work, indeed you can get bread and butter for yourself?
Without getting into the complexity of the historical injustices.
Yes.
I think I don't want to simplify things.
Okay.
I once attended an event at the auditorium. I think we had visitors from the US, which I forgot the university. Sorry. I asked the question, how many of you have role models? You get it? It starts from there, right? Mindset. What drives you? Professor Nashanda Mike's also always preaching about the mindset shift. Entrepreneurial mindset, because entrepreneurship is not about money. Having a mindset of an entrepreneur. It's about value creation, right? creating value for yourself and others. Do you get it? And then out of what you are learning, right, you can see very what you're learning as a media student.
Absolutely.
No matter what people say outside the media space, right? In our project of SFFP, I was talking to the general manager yesterday, still on the mindset issue, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because of the models and the approach they use on interacting with high school learners, those who are writing metric and those who are in metric. She said something that was very interesting to me. She said that there are students who are slow learners in high school. Sorry, not really slow, but they don't have good grades, right? But those learners, they are good in coding, right? When you give them, you put them in a room.
Yeah, it's a different
coding,
dynamic. Yeah.
They are good. Do you get it?
Yes.
So again, mindset, right? So that child, if SSFP didn't provide a platform for them to realize that they are good, otherwise they would be doomed, right? To say that no, I'm not capable, I'm not getting good grades, I'm not gonna go to university and do math and science, I'm not gonna go to college and study engineering. But now we're dealing with what? We provided a space for them where their mindset can be shifted. You get it?
Yes.
So there are many spaces, and then I think this is one of them. We are using this platform to conscientize and encourage people, you know, to really think positively, you know. And talking of a degree, I mean, you said media studies. Our degree is not true. For real, you know.
Yeah.
Social work, I shut off. It was not working for me then. You get it?
Yes.
Like sociology. I ended up getting a job to be a lecturer in sociology, right? International development. Somewhere. I ended up at IOM. Do you get it?
Right.
3 different degrees, you know. Adapt, change, right? I'll make an example of China, right? In 2018, there are students who studied civil engineering in China. And the majority of them are unemployed today. Because there was a boom of housing in China, the infrastructure industry was booming. They were building big infrastructure projects. The money was being pumped towards infrastructure. And then COVID, 2021. Then that civil engineer needs to adapt, right?
To the change. Yes.
To the change. China is not saying that we are not going to embrace AI or robots or technology because technology is going to steal or to kill some of the jobs. They're embracing it anyway because they're also reskilling their people, the workforce, right? You need to adapt. Adaptability is very much important. Recently, I told you that we signed an MOU with CER. We had an introductory meeting, right? Then telling the students how they can, Mary presented it, learn, or N as you learn, right? System. It's a model of CER approach, research, right? We are inviting students from postgraduate, and then Nkwabe said that we need to start from first year, right? We're going to mobilize 1,000 students next year to come and learn learn with us through the partnership that we have entered into with the Center for Emerging Researchers. We're going to develop a researcher. The next VC will be developed from first year at the investment.
Yes, you're talking about projects that, as you mentioned, that maybe we're going to start from first year to postgraduate. But then a community it's a bunch of different people. These are people, different degrees, faculties, mindsets as well, which is something very important. But then do you think it's really possible to cater for everyone? Do you think these projects that you have?
It's possible. It's possible. We are inclusive. I mean, I come from the directorate. It's community engagement, right? Entrepreneurship, inclusive innovation, and commercial. We're inclusive. We will cater for everyone. The cake needs to be shared amongst all 60,000
So the pie is big enough for
possible.
everyone.
I'm telling you. Tell them to come to the Victoria and say that you've got a program. I want to teach people how to write CV. The all won't be full if there's no lunch. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
So again, it's the mindset that you're thinking about, right? Start from there. Yes.
I feel like there's a lot we can talk about, and
for part two,
yeah, we definitely need a part two. There's so many things I still wanted to know more about you. The fact that you're a very well traveled academic person, and also you mentioned you touched on the issue of artificial intelligence as well, which is something next time, should there be an episode 2, I'd love to touch on that. But then let's close it up, wrapping it up. I'd like you to look at your experience, from the scratch, where you started and where you are now, and also, our theme as Funzo Ndiifa. In closing, what can you say as our community engagement officer here at the University of Venda, Mr. Mamphweli?
No, closing words is that opportunity means preparation, people like jumping into conclusion.
Yeah.
You need to jump into the opportunity. Our national that way there, I think.
Deja.
Hey. Read criteria exclude about, and then people exclude themselves. We don't exclude them. You get it? When you say 1 to 10, and then want you to motivate, and you don't motivate, you exclude yourself. You get it?
Absolutely.
Yes, when you want to say that we've got digital entrepreneurship training, you don't come, you're excluding yourself. Because the next opportunity will require that skill, small skills that you're ignoring now, to go through. The next gig will require that, and you'll be surprised in the interview when they ask you who is the principal of the university, and you said that it's the director.
No, you don't know it all.
Exactly. There are those issues, and again, good role models. The University of Venda has produced some of the prominent leaders that young people who are here, they must look up to.
Yes.
There's one, Talibanish Tomomoni. He will come to this platform.
We'll be sure to invite him.
We're inviting him through this interview. so doing great work through his organization, Universal Greening Organization.
UGO, yes.
He was in New York. Not sure if he's back. After attending the General Assembly meeting, they elected. So he come from here, from the villages. So let's look for role models. Read as much, learn as much as you can. Because I love a quote by Alvin Toffler. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. You get it?
Absolutely.
So
powerful.
I feel like majority of us in this community, we need to really get into the pursuit of learning, unlearning, and relearning. And I think that goes to everyone, from the executive, from the university senior management to middle management, support students. Yes, we need to unlearn. If there are processes that are not working for us, we need to get rid of them. If there are policies that are meant to take us or to make us move slow, then why not change them? So that is part of relearning in application.
Yes.
Right? And then I love our alumni. I was reading on Forbes magazine. One of the top CEO was featured in that list. Studied here at the University of Venda.
Beautiful.
Mrs. Seliwani Sherry Machama, PwC. Great leaders from here. I'm just mentioning a few because I'm recently read their progress, you know. Taliban recently got accreditation of the United Nations Environmental Program. You know, the organization is recognized international amongst other organizations. So, you see, I'm inspired by different graduates. No, I'm not inspired.
We're inspired by you.
By Elon, of course, I'm inspired by Elon Musk. So South African. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. And
will I reach 1,000?
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm not famous like Madam say.
I'm sure the numbers will be great. I think
I'm covered.
absolutely. I think that is going to be all for our episode today. I really hope you guys got a chance to learn. But then until we meet again next time, I'm signing out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.